Donald Trump has another terrifying new symptom. People are now noticing he can't walk in a straight line. Everybody is noticing that this is a really strange thing, and it's happening all the time, and there is no medical explanation that we've been given. Just hours ago, really, Donald Trump landing on his helicopter, walking towards reporters, and it's impossible to notice that he cannot walk in a straight line. Donald Trump doing the weave, as we call it. Take a look. Off to the right. And off to the left. And further left. And back to the right. A little straight and now left. And off he goes. Okay, so we have a sped up version of this with clown music, admittedly, just to give you a sense of the full effect of it. All right, I think you get the picture. Now, there are many examples of this. This can be neurological. This can be visual. Imagine someone struggling to stay in their lane when driving a car. It could be neurological. It also could be that they need glasses and they can't see. Donald Trump famously needs glasses but doesn't like wearing them, although I believe it's reading glasses, which wouldn't really be in play here. This happens a lot. Here is Donald Trump walking to greet Vladimir Putin. This was particularly noticeable because he's on a red carpet. The red carpet isn't that wide. It's probably 5 feet wide or something like that. And Trump is unable to just trace a straight line through it. There's another incident which is really weird, which was Donald Trump getting off of Air Force One, off of Marine One, the helicopter some months ago. And in this case, he just runs into Melania. Even when being escorted by Melania Trump suddenly goes over to the right and boom, just knocks Melania almost off of her step. And this is another example of the exact same thing that we have been looking at. And as if we needed more information or more examples of this, by the way, Trump walking up Air Force One and tripping, something he famously said only happens to Joe Biden and low energy, sleepy politicians, but it did also happen to Donald Trump. So let's do the normal kind of responsible disclaimers. You can't diagnose dementia, Parkinson's, neuropathy, vision problems, vestibular issues, or anything like this from social media issues, or at least I can't. I'm not a doctor. The story is the accumulation of this. Trump is now regularly veering while walking. We've got the issue with the bruised hands. We've got the issue with the swollen ankles. We've got all the other stuff. This is a new issue. He's having trouble on stairs. He's bumping into people. He's unable to trace a straight line when he walks. He has episodes that seem to show balance issues. And so now we have a pattern. We have more than an individual incident. First, really quick, I want to tell you about one of our sponsors. One thing that drives me nuts about political media is how two outlets can cover the same story and make it feel like two different events took place, not because any of the facts have changed, but because the emphasis of the stories is different. This is why I use Ground News, because Ground News pulls together reporting from across the political spectrum, and you can compare the headlines side by side and see how different outlets are framing the exact same issue. You can look at the bias distribution. You can look at factuality ratings. You can see who owns the outlets behind the reporting, which makes it easier to separate the substance from the spin. For example, Trump's EPA recently decided to remove limits on those forever chemicals in drinking water. Ground News shows how outlets like PBS and Raw Story are getting it right, and right-wing outlets put this anti-Biden spin on it, or they just stay very vague to avoid implicating Donald Trump. Ground News also has a blind spot feed. This is for stories that are underreported by one side. And you can also get a personalized feed based on your interests. Go to ground.news/Pakman or scan my QR code to get 40% off the Ground News Vantage plan. The link is in the description. Now back to the video. As a general concept, Walking in a straight line is a surprisingly complex neurological task. I mean, let's acknowledge what it is. It depends on vision, inner ear with regard to balance, knowing where your body is in space, proprioception, I believe is the right word. Muscle strength is involved. If the right muscles aren't strong enough, you can't do it. Coordination of the limbs, executive brain function. You might be doing or thinking about something while walking, and yet humans are still able to do that stuff while walking in a straight line. And if you have problems in any of those areas, never mind a bunch of them, it can affect your ability to walk in a straight line. Now, dementia is an explanation, but there's a lot of explanations here. Vision problems, I already talked about. Peripheral neuropathy. This would be if Trump doesn't have feeling in his feet for whatever reason, it can be tough to know exactly what your feet are doing. Cataracts. A side effect of medication can affect your ability to walk in a straight line. An inner ear disorder could affect your ability to walk in a straight line. Joint instability or forms of arthritis, weakness in the muscles, a prior injury that has caused this. An injury, of course, we've never been told about. And yes, in addition to dementia, you could be looking at neurological disorders separate from dementia. Do we have an explanation? We don't. Do we have reason at this point to believe that there's a problem? We do. That is the opinion of a growing number of medical experts. So maybe we will even invite one of them onto the program to talk to us about this. If it weren't for the total lack of transparency, we wouldn't need to be digging for information in the way that we now are. An administration that was actually going to keep the public abreast of the president's health wouldn't be raising questions every time Donald Trump is going back and forth when trying to walk in a straight line. Will we ever know for sure the full scope of Donald Trump's health status? I don't know that we will. I think even after Trump is gone, there will probably be an effort from his family to cover up the full story. What I can tell you is that this stuff is hitting a nerve. And the reason we know it's hitting a nerve is the reason that the White House put me on their media offenders list. It's an enemies list. A democratically elected president has an enemies list of people in the media whose reporting he doesn't like. They've put me on a list for my reporting about Donald Trump's health. If you don't care, if this isn't hitting a nerve, if I'm just like an annoying little mosquito, not having any impact. Actually, mosquitoes can wreak havoc if one gets into your house. Maybe it's the wrong analogy. But in any case, if someone with no followers responds to me on Twitter, it has no effect on me, and I don't give a damn. I don't go and respond to someone with no followers for trolling me on Twitter. I think this is the point I'm trying to make. The health stuff has struck a nerve to the degree that the White House put me on a list. And so I am increasingly convinced that something is going on here. The inability to walk in a straight line is the latest symptom, but I don't know the full scope of it. And I am unsure, quite frankly, that we ever will. Appreciate you watching. Stick around for this next video, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you actually see our uploads. You can also catch the full podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.